Hi everybody, welcome to Bloom Yoga. I am here today in front of my tree. I just put it up and I'm feeling overwhelmed and did not have the energy to even put the lights on it yet, and I feel like that's something that can be really common this time of year within the holiday season. All of that overwhelm and stress that many of us feel. So I decided to take a break from everything that I was doing, everything going on in the world outside, and do a quick flow to help me ground and center within myself. So I figured I would take you all along with me for that. I will say that this is titled as a holiday yoga flow, but this practice is available to people who celebrate any type of thing this holiday season, or maybe don't celebrate anything at all. It's really just more a flow to help us ground into ourselves when the world is spinning crazy all around us. So I'm excited to flow with you all. We're going to start seated today. Any comfortable seat that you can find. I like sitting with my legs crossed, but you could also sit on your heels if that works. If your feet are feeling really tight, you can sit with your toes tucked underneath. Any comfortable seat just to loosen up a little bit. My side of the world, it is really cold today. It's dropping into the negative degrees. So definitely going to try to build up some of my internal heat while also calming down all of my, the friction, I guess, that I'm feeling this time of year. So that said, settle in. And we're just gonna start by doing some neck stretches. So tilt your neck to your left side. Feel a stretch along the right side of your neck. We drop your right arm to create a deeper stretch. Let's feel into the muscles here. Start noticing your breath. See if you can lengthen your inhales and your exhales. Switch to the other side, dropping your right ear towards your shoulder. Making sure you're sitting up strong, sitting up tall, rooting through your sits bones. Maybe stretching that left arm out to create an additional stretch for your neck. My shoulders and neck get so tense when I'm stressed. I just want to work that out. Let's do some neck circles. Start big. You can start small. Whatever feels good for you today. I can hear all my cracks. Let's go the other direction. Again, inhaling and exhaling. Noticing your breath for maybe the first time today. Awesome. Now let's work on those shoulders. So squeeze your shoulders really tight up to your ears and let them fall. Inhale them up all the way tight and exhale to let them fall. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, squeeze your shoulders up, and exhale to release them all out. Do some arm circles here. Loosening up through the shoulders. And on the other side. Again, feeling grounded through my sits bones, paying attention to where my body is touching the earth, even in my hand right here on the floor. Awesome. Great. So now, like I mentioned, I'm super cold today, so I just want to feel a little bit of my own internal heat. And one of my favorite ways to do this is a really simple activity with your hands. So you're going to stretch your hands out beside you and start bringing them closer to the center slowly. And as you breathe in and out and really pay attention to your palms, you'll start to feel some heat generating within them. Almost feels as though your palms are pulling each other together. Keep moving them slowly, closer and closer and closer, until they've just about touched. Just gonna hold them here for a second. See if you can feel the heat emanating off of one hand to the other. Make sure your shoulders are dropped. You're still breathing deeply in and out. Chest is lifted. And let's pull them away. All right, one more time. Move them closely together, slowly. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling the heat in our hands. It's coursing through our own bodies. Stretching through the fingertips, making sure the shoulders are dropped away from the ears. And let's move them apart. Wonderful. So let's move on to our hands and knees. We're going to do some cat-cows here to stretch through our shoulders and back and core. So on an inhale, move into your cow pose, lifting forward with your chest. Gaze up if that works for your neck. And exhaling down to our cat, really rounding through our shoulders, pushing away from the floor with both our hands and our feet. With the pace of your own breath, inhale into your cow, and exhale into your cat. Just keep doing a few rounds of this. Feel free to add some different movement here if that feels good to you. Maybe shaking your tail side to side, leaning forward and backward on your palms. Still breathing, moving with that breath, inhaling and exhaling. Great, so now let's meet at a neutral spine. We're going to press into our left palm, shoot our right arm forward, making sure you're staying engaged through your core so your stomach doesn't sag. Hold that right out in front of you. And then on an exhale, lift your left leg back behind you into our bird dog pose. Feeling the balance that you have here, again, rooting deep through your left hand in your back right foot. Now let's do some crunches here again, just to build up some of that heat in these cold months. Crunching in and out. In and out. In and out. One more. In and out. And release. Let's take a cycle of breath here. In and exhale. Other side. Ground through your right hand now. Lift your left arm straight forward. Engage through your core. Send your right leg back. Stay here for a second to settle in before moving into our crunches. In and out. Inhaling, exhaling. And out. One more. In and out. And release. Wonderful. From here, we're going to tuck our back toes, press up into our high plank position. Let's just stay here for a second. Again, engaging through your core, starting to feel some heat for maybe the first time today. Pressing through your palms, trying to create one straight line from the top of your head all the way through your back heels. And then let's press into our first downward dog of the day. Find some movement here, whatever feels good for you, pedaling through your feet, trying to press your heels into the ground while lifting your tailbone up to the sky. It's all right if your legs are bent here. It should be an easeful pose, difficult but easeful. We shouldn't find any strain here. Make sure that your head and neck are loose, maybe give them a shake, yes and no. You're really rooting through your palms. dropping your shoulders away from your ears. Let's do a few cycles of breath here. Inhale and exhale, release. Inhale and exhale. On your next inhale, lift your right leg into the sky. Drop your foot, stack your hips. Find some leg circles here if that feels good for you. Maybe in the other direction. So again, finding some warm up and some movement and some maybe stiff joints. Sneak back and center. Press forward into your plank pose and pull your right knee up into your chest to crunch here. Same position that we were doing earlier with our leg in our bird dogs. Let's press up to downward dog. Pull forward again into that crunch. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale into this crunch. Back into downward dog and exhale to release your foot. Wonderful. Pedal it out here if you need. Let's do that again on the other side. Inhale your left leg up. Drop your foot, stack your hips. Find some circles here if that works for you. In the other direction. Wonderful. And let's do 3 plank crunches here. Shifting forward to put weight in our palms. Pulling the knee up. And exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale here. And exhale to drop and release. Great. So now we're going to make our way to the tops of our mats. You can do small steps forward like me, jump, float, whatever works well for you. Plant your feet at the top of your mats in this forward fold. Stretch your hands down as far as they can. Feel the stretch through the back of your hamstrings and the release in your lower back here. Let's take a few deep breaths. Spreading our toes, rooting through our feet, feeling the ground beneath us sturdy and stable. On our next inhale, we're going to rise to stand. Let's do this slowly. See how slow we can go, one vertebrae at a time. Making your head the last thing to lift forward. Wonderful. I'm going to ground through the feet. Swing our arms up on an inhale, maybe add a little back bend, and exhale to fold. Inhale to a flat back, and exhale to release. You're going to step or jump back to your plank pose. Stay here for a second, feel your core engaging, and then press up into downward dog. We're going to lift our right leg, pull it forward, but this time plant it between your palms. Find a runner's lunge. Engage your core, swing your arms forward and up to meet in our crescent warrior. Take a second to feel this pose here before opening up to our warrior 2. Let's take some deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling, feeling this position. Making sure that our front foot is planted, our knee is not beyond our ankle, our back foot is parallel with the back of the mat. Inhaling and exhaling. Our next inhale, we're going to reverse, lean back, feel a stretch along your right side body, and exhale back to warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. This time, stay in this reverse position, straighten your right leg. Shift your hips towards the back and lean down into our pyramid pose. Feeling a stretch this time along the left side of our body. You can have your hand on the floor, on a block if you have one, along your thigh, whatever works for you. Making sure that our feet are still firmly planted on the ground, our legs are active here, We're pulling up through them to find length in our arms and a stretch along our left side body. Now we're going to engage our core, lift our right arm up, continue it forward to find standing as we rotate our right foot to now meet in star pose. Look at us being our own stars today, our own light. So stretch through all four corners of your body, your hands and your feet. Maybe wiggle your hands a little bit. Find some movement, strength and heat here. Be active through your legs, lift up through your inner thighs. Lift your chest up to the sky, open through your heart as well as we breathe in and out in this pose where we take up all of the space that we deserve. And exhale. We're gonna go into a forward fold here, wide leg straddle forward fold. I like to do this by placing my hands on my hips, tilting forward, maintaining a flat back as long as you can as you bend to find whatever position feels good here for you. And keep your legs bent. You can have your hands on a block, on the floor. You can drop your neck. And again, feel the stretch along your back hamstrings. On an inhale, we're gonna lift our right arm up, find a twist, and exhale down. Inhale our left arm up to find a twist, and exhale down. We're gonna put our hands back on our hips here. Again, slowly stand up, and then sink back into our warrior two with the right leg forward. One more reverse here. Then on an exhale, cartwheel your hands forward, plant them on the side of your foot, step back into our plank pose, and then back into our downward dog. We're gonna do that on the other side. Lift our left foot up, step it forward into a runner's lunge, lift up into our crescent warrior, turn around here so you can see me, and then open into our warrior two. Again, be active here. Settle into the pose. We're supposed to be finding steadiness and ease within all these positions, even the ones that are difficult. On an inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse, and this time we're going to straighten that front leg. Shift our hips towards the back of the mat. Tilt down into our pyramid. Again, remembering that there are modifications here on a block if you have one, along your thigh, not putting too much pressure onto your knee. Trying to lift your right arm up as high as it can towards the sky, opening your heart, feeling a stretch along your right side body. If your neck gets tender here, feel free to drop your gaze or lift it up towards the sky. Wonderful. Now we're going to engage our core again, lifting our left arm out, coming up towards standing, turning our left foot in to again find our star pose. You can make your stance a little bit shorter here if you need. We're actually going to be dropping up and down a few times into our goddess pose. So swing your arms out to the side, turn your feet, feel this goddess. Inhale back to standing. Exhale to your goddess. Inhale, stand. Exhale, goddess. Inhale to stand. So this one more time. Exhale to our goddess. Hold your arms out. Bring them to prayer hands. Feel your feet really firmly pressing into the ground. Inhale up to stand. Exhale back to warrior two. One final reverse here. For wheeling our arms forward, planting them on the ground, finding that plank pose, holding it just for a second, engaging your core, pressing into downward dog. Just take a few rounds of breath here, inhaling and exhaling, dropping your head, your neck, and your jaw. Inhaling and exhaling. So take one inhale together and exhale all the way to empty. We're going to walk our palms now to the back of our mat, finding that Utkatasana or forward fold. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, fold. And inhale to slowly rise again, your head being the last to lift. We're going to stay here, the back of our mats, turn to face you, and we're going to find our tree pose for some balance and some extra rooting and grounding into the floor. So stand really firm on your right foot, spread your toes, find that connection to the earth. Lift your left foot up to your tree pose. So you can have it all the way up at the top of your leg, along your calf or kickstand, whatever works for you. Just don't put it along your knee with any pressure. Lift it up. The best way to find balance in this pose is by being really active through your standing leg, pulling up through the earth and using the left leg, the bent leg, to push against to find a little bit of pressure there. Stay with your hands at heart center. Make sure your shoulders are away from your ears. If you have the stability, you can raise your arms up above. Maybe you're feeling really balanced today. You can find a swaying tree or lift your gaze up to the sky. Just feel into all of those wobbles. Inhaling and exhaling as we continue to do throughout the whole practice. One more inhale together. And then exhale, release. Shake your legs out if you need. Let's do that on the other side. Planting our left foot this time. Bring our right leg to kickstand, our calves, or all the way up. Finding that feeling of our legs pressing against each other to lift ourselves, our chest, our heads up even higher. Making sure here that your pelvis is tipped under, that your back is flat, that you find the stability and strength of this tree pose here. Again, different variations with your hands, swaying, lifting your gaze, breathing. One more inhale all together. And exhale to release. Wonderful. So now we're going to inhale our arms up, swoop them up, exhale to fold. And then we're going to walk our hands forward back into our downward dog. The last downward dog of the day. Get in whatever movements you want to here. Before shifting forward on an inhale to our plank pose, holding for another second, dropping our knees, and leaning back into child's pose. So you can have your hands forward here, you can have them down by your sides, whatever feels best for you. Just take a second to rest. You deserve it. Placing your forehead along the mat, feeling all of the places of connection against the earth in this new pose. Just finding your breath, seeing if you can slow it down, extend your exhales. And shift forward, lay down onto our backs, so get there however's comfortable for you. Gonna do a little bit of opening through our hips and our back, and then call it a day. So roll back here, lay down on the ground, hug your knees into your chest. Maybe rock side to side. And then grab your feet, release down into happy baby pose, opening up our hips. I personally like to rock here. You can have your head up or relaxing down. Making sure we don't lose the sound of our breath. And then straightening our legs out. We'll do one leg at a time for our supine twist. Starting with your right leg, hug it into your chest. Lay your right arm out to the side and drop your leg over to your left side. Your gaze can follow your arm here if you want a little bit of an extra twist, or it can stay up towards the ceiling. Sinking into the ground, feeling how it holds us. And inhale, move back to center. Hug your right leg in one more time. And then switch to your left side, giving your whole leg a big hug. Reaching your left arm out, dropping your leg over to your right side. Great, come back through center. One last hug, and then drop. Awesome. So there's one more thing that I want to do here. It's my favorite way to get really rooted and grounded. So you're going to bring your feet up, or your feet below your knees. Kind of lift your top up, your chest, whatever way. Normally just sit on my elbows here, but if this isn't comfortable for you, sit up on your hands. Or place weight on your sits bones, whatever works for you. We're just gonna tap our feet against the floor, kind of massaging the bottom of our feet, feeling the pitter patter against the earth beneath us. So you can start slow and quiet. We don't do this very often. Our feet don't normally get this kind of love. Then maybe build up the speed and the noise. Keeping your breathing, but feeling the way that they tap against the ground. Noticing our feet do so much for us all day. Just a couple more taps, maybe faster than before. And then settle back into Shavasana. Find your pose here, palms up, body resting against the ground. It's so important for us to find these moments of rest, especially in busy times of the year. These moments where we can come back to ourselves. Just lay here, extending your breaths. Thanking yourself for taking a moment for you amidst it all. And start to bring some movement back into your fingers and your toes. Maybe doing some circles. Turn over gently to your right side. Stay there for a second. It feels good. Let's meet back up in the seated position where we started our practice today. You can keep your eyes closed or your gaze soft. Let's just take one closing round of breath together. Inhaling and exhaling it all out. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. See you back here.